Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today's adventure has to do with the new deluxe multi-cooker from Pampered Chef. If you are a Pampered Chef fan and you have been wondering what this cooker is all about, this video is for you. And it is just in time for St. Patrick's Day. So if you bought a multi-cooker and you are wondering how to cook your corned beef, have I got a treat for you. This is gonna be a great adventure. I've already done it and it turned out fantastic, so I thought I would share. Are you ready for this adventure? Let's go. All right, you guys, I am so excited for this video because I got my multi-cooker a few weeks ago and I have been playing around with it ever since. Now, I was gonna do an unboxing. In fact, I started recording the unboxing. Here's a little clip. So packaging looks pretty good. Let's show the lid here. Very nice and streamlined. We're gonna go ahead and take off this tag so we can read it. This is just telling us about the steam release valve. This product releases hot steam. Keep hands and face and body away from the steam release valve. Well, duh. I actually unboxed it and I was very underwhelmed by what I unboxed. It was pretty much, it looked just like a pressure cooker, had the pressure cooker rack, and then it had the two manuals. And I was like, well, I guess that's it. And so kind of that first video, I was maybe a little underwhelmed in it. I mean, like, you can't, how can you blame me? Pampered Chef has had so many awesome things that I was so excited about what I was unboxing. And then I was like, okay, it's a pressure cooker. However, it is so much more than a pressure cooker. It is a pressure cooker, it is a slow cooker, and it is sous vides. This is the brand new Pampered Chef multi-cooker. Now, just like with all the other cookers, it makes a sound when you open it, which is really nice, and it makes a different sound than any of the other cookers, so that you definitely know which cooker is going off in your house. The other thing I'll mention is I started my first cook with this without reading the manual at all. I didn't even crack it open. I was like, it's fine. We'll be able to figure it out. It's totally fine. It wasn't fine. I really encourage you this time with this machine to read your manual and really figure out what you're doing with this machine. So we are going to sous vide this corned beef, and I just want to start it right away because this thing takes about 35 minutes to come to temperature. So what we're going to do is we're gonna fill the inner pot to the halfway mark with water. All right, and once it is filled up with water, we are gonna replace the lid. Now we are gonna move the button all the way to sous vide. So it says sous vide right there. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna push the middle button, and it's gonna ask me what temperature I want to be, have my sous vide at. So I'm gonna bring it all the way down to 140. There we go. And I'm gonna push. So now I'm gonna move my time all the way up to 24 hours. 24 hours. Now, just so that you know, if you are doing corned beef in your sous vide, it's actually going to take 48 hours. So at the 24-hour mark, I am gonna have to reset my pot to 24 more hours. Here is a little bit why, let me just get started first because it takes, oops, there we go, 24 hours, 140. Now we're gonna hold it down and it says run. Now, right now during this run phase, it is actually preheating the water and it will take about 35 minutes to preheat. During this time, it's time for you to get all of your meat ready in your bag and everything else. The first time I did this, I just put the meat right in, pushed go, and I couldn't understand why it was beeping at me and then why it said add. As soon as I saw that it said add, I was like, I'm pretty sure I missed a direction somewhere. So then of course I had to read the directions and then I realized what I had done. And so yeah, it needs time to preheat. And this is where one of my nitpicky things comes into play. It probably won't come into play for many people, but it did come into play for me because I was doing multiple recipes of sous vide egg bites, and that's why it was at 176 for 7 hours. No sous vide egg bites do not take 7 hours, but this pot takes 35 minutes to come to temperature. It has no thermometer inside the pot, so it is basing all of its temperature on what it knows inside the pot, what it knows electronically, not actually measuring the temperature of the water inside the pot. So if I set my sous vide machine to go for 1 hour at 176 for sous vide egg bites, at the end of 1 hour, it would go off. And if I wanted to do more sous vide egg bites just right after it, because I actually did want to do that for my sister and my mom's family, it wanted to reheat the water for 35 minutes. And I knew for a fact my water was already at temperature. So that was frustration number one. So how I got around that though, was I set the pot for 7 hours, put it at 176, set my timer on my phone for 1 hour. Then at the end of the 1 hour, I removed my sous vide egg bites, put the lid back on for just a little while I prepped the rest of the sous vide egg bites, then got them back in, reset my timer for an hour in my on my phone. So that's a little bit of a flaw to me, knowing that I've already messed with the sous vide and I know that I can just put warm water into my sous vide and then have it cut that prep time for that warming up period. That's a little bit of a bummer. But if you have never dealt with sous vide before, you will hardly even notice that that's even a thing, because you're like, oh, I just know that it's going to take about 35 minutes to come to temperature. And like I said, most people don't cook multiple things of sous vide one after the other. I'm just a special case. So take that for what it's worth, but that's worth something to someone, especially if you already have a sous vide machine and you're looking to maybe combine some things together and have sous vide and pressure cooker and slow cooker all in one machine. This is the machine for you. Okay, so let's chat no longer and get to how we're gonna do this corned beef. So here I have a just regular Joe average corned beef that I picked up at the market. It has all of my spices already in it. If you like extra spices in your corned beef, or if you like putting a beer in your corned beef, whatever you like, you are gonna want to put it into the bag the same as you would if you were going to pressure cook or boil it or whatever else. Of course, if you're gonna boil it, you put all that water in, don't do that part. Just put the spices and the beer in. But today, we're just gonna make it just like this, and it is gonna turn out fantastic. So today, we're gonna use actually Ziploc bags because I'm in the process of moving and I already packed my food sealer. So instead of using my food sealer to reseal this back in, I am just gonna use a plastic bag. Did you hear that? Okay, so one of the things that the new pressure cooker from Pampered Chef does is that it has a automatic, I don't know if you could see that. This right here is our pressure release valve. And this version of the pressure cooker, slow cooker, sous vide is electronic. So that noise you heard was the machine telling me that it was venting itself. Now you can turn off that sound, but it's a nice sound whenever you have a lot of steam coming out of that. So it's kind of warning you that it's about to open. But in order to turn off that noise, you would just hold down this button and it would go off. And then we won't hear that noise again. And then to turn it back on, we just push it again. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on just so it will notify me when it does it again. And you can actually see this thing pop up all by itself. Okay, now I'm just going to dump everything from the package. All the juices, which some people are like, ooh, that blood? No, it's not actually blood. All the juices, all of the spices, everything is gonna go into your food saver bag, or in my case, my plastic bag. I'm gonna go ahead and seal up the bag and push out all the air that I can. But when we go to put it into the pot, I'm gonna show you how to ensure that all of the air comes out if you are not using a food saver bag. So we're just gonna leave it right there. All right, so let's talk some more about this pot here. Pressure cooking was really cool. I did rice in it using the rice button, worked like a charm. It was really awesome because I didn't realize at that point that it was an automatic button. And I was like, oh my goodness, where is that? How do you open this? I'm like, well, I think that's the steam button, the steam button. And so then I pushed it and it came up and it was so fun. I was like, ooh, and I felt bad for Walter. Walter, our dragon, he's packed too, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's just gonna have to be an honorary member now if I'm gonna use this as my pressure cooking tool, because this is sous vide and pressure cooker. And so far, all of the things that I have sous vide'd have come out exactly like my Anova sous vide. So it's legit a sous vide machine and a pressure cooker and a slow cooker. So some of the other features that we have here, some of the other presets that we have on the pot is custom, of course. That's whenever you can set all your custom everything. There is some directions in the book about using the custom feature. I have not read through those directions. Did you hear that and see that? So I wanted to talk enough so that it would do that. And did you see it went down again? Isn't that weird? That's weird. And that's what it will do. And that's normal for the sous vide because it's releasing the air, the pressure from inside, because we don't want it under pressure. We just want it to sous vide kind of nicely. So to turn that notification off altogether, we're just gonna hold this down. And now that notification bell is now turned off. What else do I want to say? Oh yeah, we're going to go through. Just like all other pots, this has a sear. It has an egg button. We have poultry, beef, pork, seafood, white rice, whole grains. So that's like grits and oatmeal and stuff like that. All the directions again are right inside the book. Soup, beans, dessert. Oh yeah, dessert can be done in here. Cheesecake in the pressure cooker is the most amazing cheesecake you may ever have. We have steam, we have slow cook, we have sous vide, we have yogurt, and we have sterilize. So the multi-cooker from Pampered Chef is really a multi-cooker. It does a lot of stuff. And that is something that a lot of people look for because they want to go down. They don't want 1,000 different things in their kitchen. They just want one that can do a lot. And you guys, this one can do a lot. So, what else do I want to say about this? I don't know. I am honestly impressed with the pot and the design itself. My only little glitch is that thermometer and being able to reset my pot so that I can cook another sous vide egg bite immediately after the other one. I mean, I'm a time saver, so that's the only thing that's a little bit, darn, missed that mark. But everything else so far is really awesome. Okay, I will be back when this comes to temperature because it probably will be another 10 minutes or so. And then when we come back, it'll say add. So it's gonna tell me when it's at temperature. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. See you soon. Okay, and as you can see here, it now says add. So what we do is we are going to open the pot. And now, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna crack open this bag just a little bit. And we are going to submerge our bag into the water and push out all of the extra air using the water to displace the air. All right, there we go. Now all of the air is out. Okay, Let's make sure it is under the water, and it looks like it's under the water and perfect. Now, when you're using a traditional sous vide machine, you usually drape the bag over the side and then let the sous vide go. However, because we want to replace the lid, we actually want to put it inside the machine, just not under the water. So I'm just going to tuck it right there, and my meat is completely submerged under that water. And I'm going to return my lid like so. Then we're just going to push it to start the timer to go. And now in 24 hours, I will do that whole process all over again. Yes, that means that I'm going to have to rewarm the pot again, which is a bummer, but it should be fine because it's just going to rewarm to kind of that same temperature and it will be just fine. I love that the lid fits back onto it whenever it's sous vide, because that means that in 24 hours, the water loss that usually you would have when you did something for 24 to 48 hours, when you're sous videing in a large pot, you have to cover it, or else all of the water will evaporate, and then you'll have to add more water, and then it has to come back to temperature, and there's no water loss in this. It is all trapped inside the machine. So this will be done with the same water I started with in 48 hours. So I will see you back here in 48 hours, and I'm gonna make some cabbage steaks to go with my corned beef, and we're gonna cut into this, and we are gonna have a fantastic meal. All right, you guys, we'll see you back here in 48. Okay, you guys, welcome back. It has been well over 48 hours and our corned beef is ready to be peeked at. But before we do, we have to do the cabbage because it's corned beef and cabbage. So we are gonna do cabbage steaks in the deluxe air fryer. So here I have just a regular Joe average cabbage, and we are going to slice it in like 1/2 inch steaks. All right, and once your cabbage steaks are all ready to go, before you oil them, before you do anything else, get out your basket or your tray. If you have a basket air fryer that you put the stuff down inside, just take out your basket, arrange your cabbage steaks on your basket or your tray before you do anything else, because they don't like to stay together very well. So you might as well arrange it, get it where you want it, and then dress it up. It just gets a little messy. And this one I made kind of thick. That's way more than 1/2 inch. So that one may take a little bit longer, but the other ones should take all the same time. And it's gonna take about 8 minutes in the air fryer or less. It's pretty fascinating. We're gonna take our pastry brush and we're just gonna brush oil over the top. Then we're gonna salt and pepper them. And those guys are ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick them into my air fryer, and I'm gonna put these ones near the bottom because that one's so big. Maybe if it's closer to the heating element, it will be easier to cook. I don't know. In theory, that's what should happen. And we are gonna set our air fryer at 375 for 8 minutes. So let's go ahead and open this, and you'll see it still says it has 5 hours left. It actually doesn't. I reset it sometime earlier just so that it would continue to cook until I was ready to film. All right, so inside, the bag is in the exact place that I left it. So it's kind of curled over on itself, not under the water. And my corned beef is right here. Look at that. There is delicious juices inside. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel this pot. There's a cancel button right here. You just push it, it cancels it, you're ready to go. So here is the proof that no water was lost. I filled it up to the halfway mark, and look, it's right there at the halfway mark. I also wanted to mention that unlike any of the other machines that Pampered Chef has come out with, this has an on and off switch so that we don't have a blinking light on our counter for the rest of our lives. So back here on the left side of the pot, there's an off switch. All right, let's take this guy out and cut him up while we wait for those steaks. Oh my goodness. You are not going to believe how tender this is. I wish that you could taste this, but you're just gonna have to believe me. And remember, we didn't do anything to this. We didn't put any beer in it. We didn't put any extra seasonings. It was just what came in the bag. And there's all of that juice. So definitely save that juice, don't pour it out, because some people really like that juice with their cabbage. So just save it just in case you have someone who needs the juice. Let's go ahead and slice. I'm gonna slice from this side because there's some small pieces. Oh my goodness. This is a treat for the whole Irish family. Oh man, that looks beautiful. All right, and now it's time to plate up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this big one and I'm just going to lift him off very carefully, put him on the plate. Oh, beautiful, look how beautiful that is. And then I'm gonna put a whole helping of corned beef onto the plate as well. And that's gonna be my dinner. Just kidding, sort of. I love corned beef, so no judgment, no judgment. But check it out. How beautiful is that? Sous vide corned beef in the multi-cooker. Yes, I just switched out the air fryer for the multi-cooker because this guy, it may just change your world, especially if you've been looking into getting a sous vide machine. Corned beef right there. It may have taken 48 hours, but you guys, it's worth the wait. All right, you guys, well, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure, and sometimes Pampered Chef hands me my next adventure because, hello, we have a brand new pot. So if you wanna see me adventure with something in my multi-cooker, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make stuff up and bring you along. Well, at least I hope to bring you along. So I hope you'll join me on the next one. All right, guys, bye.